It's coming from Missouri, and they said, after all your life traumas plural, how can you still trust people? How did you get to that place of trust? Okay, Missouri. After all of my life traumas, how can I still trust people? And how did I get to that place of trust? For most of my life, a great deal of my life, I didn't trust people. Mainly because my trust was violated when I was 4 or 5 years old, when I was molested and my innocence was taken from me. That caused me not to trust people. For many, many years, I would never let people close to me. I would deal very just socially with people because I had to. But far as letting somebody in close to me, getting to know me, things like that, I never did. I always kept a guard. I always kept a wall up, because you can't trust people. I couldn't trust people because I had been violated by over 7 different people, men, and especially men I didn't trust. How I got to the place of trust was I kept telling the Lord, I want to be free. I want to be whole. I want to learn to trust. And me not trusting human beings affected my trust with God. It affected my trust because I didn't think that he would protect me at times. I thought I had to protect myself. And so when you not trust one person, you're not trusting a lot of people, because you really don't pick and choose, because when you shut your heart off and shut your emotions off to people, to trust, you're not letting nobody in, you're not letting nothing out. Okay? So when I just kept on saying, Lord, I want to be free. I want to be able to trust you. I want to be able to go where you lead me. I want to be able to follow you wholeheartedly. And I want to trust people. So in 2010, when the Lord sent me to one of my old pastors, my first leader that was able to, when he started training me for ministry. And if anybody don't hear from my previous church, Old St. John, they knew I would come to church, sit there, listen at the sermon, go up for prayer, speak to the pastor and his wife, and I'm out the door. I didn't socialize with people. I did that for 7 years, and I wasn't on drugs at the time. It just was how I was. I didn't let people close to me. I didn't let them, get real close to me. And so when the Lord sent me to my leader to be trained for ministry, he told me I had to learn body life. And he gave me the song, I Need You, You Need Me to Survive. We are God's body. We are all God's body. And he began to teach me that every joint supply. People in the body of Christ, they supply different things that you need. And I couldn't get it unless I trusted somebody. So when he started teaching me to learn body life, I started to come to church and, in my new church that I was at, and try to fellowship. And it was really, really hard because I didn't want to be close to people per se, because I couldn't fight anymore. The Lord told me I couldn't cuss people out anymore. So how was I going to defend myself? Because I know people, they going to do something. They going to do something. They going to tick you off, and you going to have to just go there. And so I'm like, okay, well, the only way that I can just not go there is just not deal with people, which was wrong. So I began to try to learn body life as the Lord instructed. And then I began to develop relationships with some of my church members. Me and one of them became good prayer partners. We became prayer partners, and I began to open up and be more free. Like, this is really okay. You know, I want to have real close friends, and so the Lord had me to start having different fellowships at my house for the women. I would do it twice a month. We'll have Bible study. I'll cook for them. I'll make hors d'oeuvre trays and stuff like that, and it was okay. I began to open up more and talk to my leaders that was over me. That was something that I never done, and then I experienced the hurt of ministry. So my trust have been violated on sexually, physically, emotionally, bad ministry, bad lovers, bad strangers, bad family. So I began to, and I had all those type of hurts, and that affected my trust level too. And so the Lord just told me one day, he said, you trust me and the people. Stop putting all your trust in people, because you're not trusting the person. You trusting me in the person. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try it. And if you get hurt, then I have the power to heal you. And so, you know, because he said he sent, you know, to heal the broken heart and bind up their wounds. So I said, okay. And so, you know, he giving me these scriptures, you know, to hang on to. And so once I experienced the ministry hurt, it cut me deep. I wanted to stop doing ministry, which I did. You know, I was done with relationships. I ended several engagements because I'm like, this is just too much. People, you can't trust them. You can't trust them. And so when he gave me my book to write, The Heart of the Matter, which is the behind the scenes value number 4. It's called The Heart of the Matter. Me facing truth about myself and God cleansing my insides. That's what that book is about. And when he began to give me instructions on writing that book, he began to heal me from all of my hurts. He began to make me whole. You know, even before he gave me that book, he began to show me. I was in prayer. We was doing a 10-day shut-in at my pastor. We had to come to prayer, all day prayer. And the Lord began to take me back all the way to the very spot that I got molested. And he began to show me how he was there with me through all of my life, up and down. And I said, okay, I can trust you. And still at times, I would have to lock into him and say, okay, now you sent me to these people. You told me to open up my heart to them. And look how they did me. And some of the men I thought I was in love with would hand me my heart back to me in my hand. You know, they will make 10 like they want a relationship and want to be married and all of those types of things. You know, and that was more heartbreaking. But through it all, I still learned to just trust God, because I want love. I want to be love and I want to give love. And you can't do that if you don't trust. So I trust the people. I trust the God in people. You can't walk around and be suspicious of everybody. You can't make everybody a suspect. You know, that's not living. That's not loving. And I want to operate in love. So when I meet people or around people, you know, I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. And even if you do give me a reason not to trust you, I'm going to find a way, because I don't want to harbor anger, bitterness, or envy or unforgiveness in my heart. So I find a way to get over it if they've wronged me. And half of the time, some of the time, most of the time, they don't even know they wronged you. They don't even know that they've offended you and things like that. It's how you take it. So I learned to know how to respond to different people. If they do something, I don't have to respond in anger. I don't have to respond, I'm not calling you no more or talking to you no more, because I'm cutting off my supply. They probably got something in them that I need to survive to this journey called life. You know, so that's how I got to that place of trust. The Lord. That's how I got to it. And that's how I still get to it. You know, a lot of people say I'm too trusting. I trust people. You know, I'm not trusting the person. I'm trusting the God in the person. Because you can find God in any person. You know, even the drug addicts. And I know that for a fact because I was one. You can find God in the alcoholics. I know that for a fact because I was one. You can find God in the prostitutes. I know that for a fact because I was one. You understand? So you trust the God in people. That's how you get to that place of trust. And then he'll lead and guide you. If you get hurt, they break your heart, or they violate you, or mishandle you in any kind of way, he gonna take care of them. He gonna take care of him, and he gonna take care of you. Because your broken heart can't be mended unless the Lord Jesus do it. He was anointed to heal the broken heart and mend up their wounds. Not nobody else. You can't mend anybody's wounds. He have to do it. And so you have to yield your heart to him so he can heal you, so you will be able to trust, so you will be able to be in close relationship and contact with people. But other than that, if you stay closed off and with an unforgiving heart and thinking about people wronged you and did this kind of stuff, you'll never be at a place of trust. So I recommend get that book I wrote, Matters of the Heart. That's what it's about. It'll teach you how to be free, how to be whole, how to get cleansed, how to face truth about yourself, because you got to deal with you. You don't trust people because you probably don't trust yourself or can't be trusted. You know? So send me your email and I will send you my book. All right? So thank you, Missouri, for your question. I hope I have answered your question. Okay. Let me see. 2, 3. Number 4 says, now this is from Oregon State, southwest part of Nigeria. Okay. It say, being a reader from Nigeria, we read the real internet come forth and the behind the scene book series. We see the mystery behind the books. You face huge challenges. You also had breakthroughs. You were blessed with children, businesses, career, empowerment ministry. You have great success also. As a reader, we see huge challenges, small challenges. What is the biggest challenge you face as the author, the person behind the books? What is the biggest breakthrough God has done for you? We want to know what's your greatest challenge and your greatest breakthroughs. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Being a reader from Nigeria, we read the Real Internet Come Forth and Behind the Scene book series. We see the mystery behind the books. You face huge challenges. You also had breakthroughs. You were blessed with children, businesses, career, empowerment ministry. You have great success also. As a reader, we see huge challenges, small challenges. What is the biggest challenge you face as the author, the person behind the books? What is the biggest breakthrough God has done for you? We want to know what's your greatest challenge and your greatest breakthrough. Well, all right. Oregon State, southwest part of Nigeria. Okay. So I'm going to start with what was my greatest challenge. You have to understand when they talk in Nigeria, when they say challenges, they're talking about heartbreak, mishap, misfortunes, setback, delays, all that kind of stuff. They call that challenges. My greatest challenges, I thought my greatest challenge that I faced was the molestation. Being molestation for several years. I thought that was the worst thing that could ever happen. It was bad. It was horrible. I used to think that was the worst thing. That's why I hid it the longest. And would never talk about it. Would never tell nobody about it. Would never try to deal with it. Then when I got into my first relationship and started having children, it became a domestic violence relationship. So when I began to suffer domestic violence at the hands of my lover and children's father, I thought that was the greatest challenges, because now I have molestation. Now I have domestic violence on top of that. Okay. So I thought that was heartbreaking. I thought that was my greatest challenge because it was very shameful. You don't want people to know that you're being beat on, that you're being, just downgraded, trodden over, and everything else. I thought that was my greatest challenge for a while until I got raped. When I got raped, I thought for sure that was the greatest challenge. How could you do that to another human being? How could you take something that's not yours? Why would you do that to an individual? I was a mother. I was a teen. And then being raped by the hands of someone that's supposed to love you, that I thought that was by far the greatest challenge that I had ever faced. And until I became a drug addict. When I became a drug addict, I thought that was it. Can't get no worse than this. I'd have been through a series. By this time, I'd have been through years and years and years of abuse, depression, oppression, all by the hands of men, Then when I found some level of comfort, somebody that saw me for me, somebody that saw me as a loving lady, a loving individual, and wanted to pursue a relationship with me that really made me feel like I'm somebody, then they was taken from me. They was killed, coming to see me. So I thought by far that would be the greatest challenge of my life. I thought I would never recover from that. But being a drug addict, they take you to a whole nother realm. When I began to start getting, really being an addict, like stealing from stores, going to jail, being a prostitute, selling my body to get a fix for drugs. I thought that was the far greatest challenge that I had faced. I thought, you can't get no worse than that. It can't get no worse than that. There's nothing more that can happen to me than everything that did already happen. Think about it. We're talking about molestation. We're talking about rape. We're talking about abusive relationship for many years. We're talking about someone that loved you is gone. I thought me losing my brother, being killed, was the worstest challenge that I would ever face. I thought losing my father would be the greatest challenge I would ever face. But none of that, as painful as it was, as horrible as it was, as heartbreaking as it was, as devastating as it was, as traumatic as it was, as horrific as it was. Any words you can even think of a phantom, the anguish, the agony, the sorrow, the despair, the everything, anything you can ever think of. I thought those was the greatest challenges I was ever faced, that I had ever faced. It was one after the other, after the other, after the other. But none of those was my greatest challenge I ever faced. The greatest challenge that I ever faced, as being the author of these books you're talking about, as being the person behind the books that I'm writing, the greatest challenge I ever faced was losing my son, burying a child. That was the hardest challenge I ever faced. That was the hardest, the most devastating, the most traumatic thing you can ever face. Losing my child made molestation look like a walk in the park. Losing my child made the rape look like, it's just a bad day. Losing my child made the drug use look like, oh, this is a phase I'm walking through. It was nothing. I did what I did, you know. Losing my child made the domestic violence relationship look like, oh, I'm out of it now. Losing my child changed everything. It changed everything. It changed me for the rest of my life. It changed me into a totally different person. In fact, I became a totally different person after losing my child. And I didn't write any of these books until after I lost my child. I didn't have the courage or the strength to tell my story or even confront my past until I had lost my child. Because all of that other stuff that I was hiding and burying and not dealing with, it was nothing anymore. I was facing the greatest challenge of my life, and I needed to try to survive in some kind of way. And God knows just how to bring me to that place to deal with my past. So my greatest challenge is losing my son, losing a child. I have a book coming out about that now. For 5 years, I didn't talk about it at all. It was a very touchy subject. It caused a lot of tension with my children, my mother, my children's father, some other family members, because they was wanting to, do things, memorial services and balloon ceremonies and T-shirts. And I wasn't having any of it. I, wanted to pick out a tombstone. I'm not doing it. So in year 6 is when the Lord, began to heal me. I began to let him heal me. And special thanks to my spiritual father, Apostle David E. Taylor. He was in Israel at the time at the Wailing Wall, and he asked for prayers. What do we need so he can put it in the wall and pray over it for us? And I said that I can get closure for my son, because I have got to move on from this. I've got to close this. I can't live like this. Even though I was writing books, even though I had started several companies, even though I'm traveling all over the world, it was one area I wasn't touching. So that was my greatest challenge, losing my son. And like I say, the book that I'm writing about is called Life After the Loss of a Child. And it'll be out. I wanted it to be out by May 23rd, which is his birthday. But right now it's in page design, and I don't think it's gonna make it. So it'll be out in June for sure, or early part in June or early part of July. But anyway, it's being worked on. So now I'm able to talk about it. So that is my greatest challenge that I face as a person, the author behind these books. And what is my greatest breakthrough that God has done for me? The greatest thing God has done for me. The greatest thing God has done for me is save me. I'm talking about for real, save me. I'm talking about saving me from me. Because you need to be saved from yourself at times. I was a menace to society. I was a woman that was ruthless. Nothing mattered. I didn't care about being killed. I didn't care about people trying to hurt me. I was very reckless. And God saved me. That's the greatest thing he did for me. The greatest thing, he sent Jesus to get me. And he met me where I was. I was in a basement of a crack house when Jesus came and got me. When he saved me. He came and got me. So he will come and get you wherever you are. You can be in a crack house. You can be in a prison. You could be in a jail. You could be in a ditch. You can be on the side of the road. You could be in a club. You can be anywhere. Jesus will come and get you. That's the greatest thing that God ever has done for me, was send Jesus to get me. I'm telling you. So that's the greatest breakthrough that I have every day. It's knowing that Christ is with me. He came and got me. He never left me or forsook me. Even when I didn't feel him around me, even when I didn't know he was around me, even when I didn't know that he seen me or thought that he seen me, he was there and he came and got me. And I would always say, when he get ready for me, he'll come get me. When he get ready for me, he'll come get me, you know. And so he did. When he got ready for me, he came and got me. He came and got me. He came and got me, and he loved me enough to clean me up. He loved me enough to heal me. He loved me enough to be patient with me, to be kind with me, to have mercy with me, to give me time to process my life, to process my past. He'll give you time to deal with you. And he deal with you in love and kindness, and he'll love you so much to none of these hardships, these human experiences that we go through. I call them human experiences because that's what they are. You know, none of that matters. Once you feel his love, once you know that he has saved you for real, and I know he saved many other people, but I'm talking about me. I always have to refer it to me, you know. When he showed me that he saved me and graced me, it changed everything. It changed everything, and it still changed everything. So that is the greatest breakthrough that I ever had. Is Christ saving me for real. I mean, he saved me from a lot. He saved me from a lot of experiences. He saved me from me, myself. He saved me from death. He saved me from a lot of things. A lot of things. That's the greatest breakthrough. And he not only saved you, he healed you. When he saved you, he healed you. You know, he's not a halfway God. He's not a halfway Savior. That's why he called a Savior. I wrote a book about it, my Jesus experience, our journey. And I talk about him being my Savior, him being my deliverer, him being my redeemer, him being my lover, my friend, my all in all, him being my comforter. So he's an all-in-one. He's an all-in-one. He don't just save you so people can mistreat you or mishandle you. No. He saved you to show you love so you can show love. He bought me back from the pits of hell. You know, he paid the price for me. And that's what this whole week is about, Resurrection Sunday. And I'm extra grateful during these times because he laid down his life for me. He laid down his life that I may have a life. And so I'm always trying to be mindful of that. So he is the greatest breakthrough that I ever had. Let me see, did I answer all the questions? And yes, he has graced me and blessed me with children. I have 5 beautiful children, 4 now. But he's blessed me with grandchildren. I have 12 grandchildren. Glory be to God. All of them healthy, all of them well. He's blessed me to be a grandmother too. You know, he's blessed me with multiple businesses. And I thank him. I love him. He's blessed me to be able to write my life testimony so he can be glorified in everything that I say and do. He's graced me to... let me see what else it says. Yes, to have an empowerment ministry, where it's my give back ministry. Everything I do for empowerment ministry, I do it for free because freely I receive, freely I give. And so my businesses, my companies, they pay for everything that I do for empowerment ministry because I want to give back to God people everything that he's given to me and help them to get to a place that they could be a blessing unto others. So that's why I teach these seminars and things for free. That's why I go into the women's and children's shelter. That's why I go into the jails to give them hope, to spread the love of Christ, because that's what he saved me for, to be a blessing unto others. He's blessed me to be married again. I have a wonderful new marriage that I'm so, giddy about. I'm happy, I'm joyful. He's blessed me with a husband that loves me beyond words. And it's mind-blowing, it's mind-boggling that somebody can love you and not even know you. That God has placed a special love in them for you. And has given them instructions on how to deal with you, how and what you need. So it's powerful. And I'm also writing a book about that too. I know everybody want to know about my new marriage and how me and my husband met. And so we're co-authoring a book about it. It's titled Our Journey to Oneness, How He Found Me. So we're working on it now. He's written this portion and I'm currently writing mine now. So maybe it'll be out the end of this year, or maybe I'll wait till 2021 so it can come out with my other book that's going to come out. I'm trying to get to the place where I just publish 2 books a year to give myself a break. I put a gray strain on my eyes. That's why I can't see. I'm trying to push all these books out, so I had to get me some help seeing with my glasses. So I'm trying to, lighten my load, and just enjoy the journey. Just enjoy what God has graced me with, what he's blessed me with, because I'm glad to be here. He saved